Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Adeyemo, congratulations on your nomination. I know that people have asked you about sanction issues, so I think I'll just continue on that front. Cybersecurity is one of the most important things I believe that we need to be working on from an infrastructure perspective. And I know that you'll be leading a review of U.S. sanctions. Should we be looking and working on an international basis to basically get U.S. allies to work together on sanctioning countries who initiate cyber attacks?
Senator, my view is that it is critical that we work closely with our allies to hold those accountable that sponsored cyber attacks that look to destroy or disrupt services in the United States around the world.
Thank you. We look forward to working with you on that. Also, in President Biden's agenda is further investment in the affordable housing tax credit. This is something that Chairman Wyden and I have worked on to further investments in affordable housing. My colleague, Senator Young, who's on this committee, and I have introduced legislation to increase by 50% the amount of money going into affordable housing because the tax credit creates jobs and it also helps provide important unit availability. People think, well, if you don't build the housing, like the cost, you don't have the cost. Well, we do have the cost. We have the cost of housing and dealing with a population in different settings, which is really actually ends up being more costly. So what will you do to help carry out President Biden's agenda on the affordable housing tax credit agenda?
Senator, I look forward to working with my colleagues in the administration on affordable housing issues, but also with you and Senator Young on your proposal. I agree with you that this is a critical issue for us in terms of ensuring that we meet the affordable housing needs in this country. That tax credit has been successful. We should look at ways to make sure that we're using it in a way that's effective going forward. I look forward to working with you and Senator Young on that.
And lastly, I know my colleague, Senator Crapo, the ranking member, will remember this, but we spent many hours last March in a room talking about how to better protect the economy during the COVID crisis. And part of it was an investment in aerospace manufacturing, particularly the supply chain. As it turned out, those resources didn't get adequately used to protect the supply chain. Our colleagues, Senator Moran and others have been working, and the Commerce Committee overall has been working to try to get Treasury to focus on using the resource that it was given to help on supply chain support. We've lost something like over 100,000 jobs in aerospace already, and we could lose more. So will Treasury work with the Congress to make sure that this important sector of the U.S. economy is helped during the COVID pandemic and that we are doing all we can to preserve those jobs so that we're competitive after the crisis in one of the biggest export sectors to our economy?
Senator, if confirmed, I look forward to working with my colleagues at Treasury to address these issues. I agree with you that one of the things we need to pay a great deal of attention to is the supply chain. I think the supply chain in lots of industries, including aerospace, are going to change as a result of the pandemic. And the key for us is making sure that we make investments now that make sure that America is in a position to win the future when it comes to supply chain. So I look forward to working with you, if confirmed, and my colleagues at Treasury to address this important issue.
And then I guess I would say that one last point on that as it relates to the administration's infrastructure investment, I see there's a great opportunity to work collaboratively both on the infrastructure dollars and on the job training and skilling of a workforce to be able to take advantage of those infrastructure jobs and infrastructure investment. And that is something Treasury Secretary Yellen mentioned at her confirmation hearing that these kind of workforce training issues were something that Treasury was going to pay particular attention to. I hope that in the next COVID package we can marry this up so that we're, again, both making the investment in very needed infrastructure but also skilling a workforce that can take advantage of those high-wage jobs.
I completely agree, Senator. I think the things you mentioned are all critical to American competitiveness, and we need to make sure that our economy is competitive as we come out of COVID-19 in order to make sure that our workers and our firms have opportunity to sell American goods here at home and also abroad.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.